Hey guys, this is my fourth video on pregnancy with POTS. What's POTS? POTS is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It can also be called dysautonomia of the autonomic nervous system. It is completely, it's turned my life upside down these past. So I'm 32 and a half weeks pregnant, so it's turned my life upside down since I was about 7 weeks pregnant. So I've been dealing with this for a long time. Kind of been having a hard time getting out of bed today, well, every day, but just wanted to fill you in on symptoms at this point. I joined a support group of Facebook women, which has been really helpful for mental health, and also getting a lot of questions answered, because a lot of these doctors don't seem to know what POTS is, and especially POTS in pregnant women is pretty rare. I've gone to about a dozen doctors now, and only 3 of them knew anything about it. And out of the 3 that I went to, only 2 of them were nice to me. They essentially think like, oh, you're just having anxiety, this isn't real, that sort of thing. And I've wound up in tears after dealing with a lot of these doctors, because there just isn't enough research and they don't understand it. So anyways, so I thought this would be helpful for anyone else dealing with POTS, because I know there are, in my Facebook group alone, I've talked to probably over 100 women, and that's women all over the world who were diagnosed with POTS while they were pregnant, or had POTS and then became pregnant, which is kind of 2 separate beasts, in my opinion, because, you can get a virus, and that causes you to get POTS, which is a little bit different. I mean, you ultimately you have POTS, but sometimes women who have POTS and then from a virus that they got earlier in their life, they actually get better during pregnancy, at least temporarily. But women who get POTS from pregnancy, it's kind of like their entire world is turned upside down, which, of course, anyone who has POTS, when you first get it and trying to get it diagnosed and trying to understand what the heck is going on with your body, it's a very emotionally taxing process. And anyways, so I'm just kind of having a rough morning, and I'm supposed to go to the doctor later in a couple hours. I haven't gone to the doctor in about 3 weeks. So kind of one of the symptoms that I'm feeling now. It kind of feels like, well, what I'm going through now is I am at the point where I've felt up until this point like I am going to faint, which is called pre-syncope, I think, pre-syncope. I might not be pronouncing it correctly. Presyn. Okay, I can't even think correctly because of the POTS and everything. Pre-syncope, which is basically where you feel like you're going to faint, but then syncope is where you actually do faint. And up until this point, I've felt like, I could kind of control it to a sense where I could go lay down, and I haven't technically fainted, but I feel like at this point, and I'm getting so far along that I feel really scared, because I'm at the point where I'm kind of back and forth, losing consciousness, kind of, but it's not like I full on faint. I'm standing or even laying down, but standing, and I just have to like put myself on the floor right then to get blood back to my head, because I'm right, like I can feel myself blacking out. Or it's not even just when I'm standing, like having dinner and then having to get like put myself out of the chair at the dining room table and get on the floor because it's so bad. And I feel like if I don't put myself on the floor right then, that I'm gonna hit my head or I'm gonna hit my stomach and hurt the baby. And at this point, it's just getting really out of control. So I want to go talk to my doctor about that today. I have a prenatal appointment. And yeah, it's at the point where I feel like I almost need to be like hospitalized because I can't even, like, it's so often. Like, I got up for about 5 minutes today to make my daughter some toast and, braid her hair for school. And I couldn't even handle that. And then now I'm back in bed. And what it feels like right now to me is kind of like I'm in space. Especially, I was laying down, I have my hand on my head right now, but it's good to focus on a video instead of focus on the symptoms. But it feels like I am literally floating in space. And I can't grab onto anything, and I'm constantly like unstable. Like it's I've described it also as you feel like you're kind of floating in the ocean, but the ocean that you're in is always rocking. There's always waves, and there's kind of like different levels of waves or like out of controlness, it feels like, with my nervous system. But it's not a feeling that you want to have, because I mean, normally people without POTS or before I had POTS, you feel like grounded essentially in your body. But with POTS, it's like you're kind of always floating around. Like, I literally have to hold on to things sometimes because I'm floating. Like, when I'm eating, a lot of times I have to like grab on to the table, the sides of the table, whatever hand's not with the fork, because it's so scary, and I just constantly feel like I'm falling over, just kind of a space cadet in a violent ocean. And it's not vertigo. I've had vertigo before. It's different than that. Anyways, so in addition to that, I've also been having, the heart rate, my resting heart rate. I've been wearing a Fitbit quite a bit. And my resting heart rate, and this is like without doing anything, has been between like 70 and 140 or 100 and maybe 60. I haven't measured when it's 160 because that's right when I'm usually about to pass out. Or I could feel like I'm going to pass out when it goes too slow too. I'm going to try to look into getting like a blood pressure monitor. I was going to talk to my doctor about that too. Because, see, even right now, I just feel yeah. So this video is getting kind of long. So right now it's the tachycardia, the heart rate. But what's hurting me is the like force that my heart is pumping. So it just causes a lot of discomfort, and you just feel like you're gonna die all the time. And I'm not even exaggerating that. Like, it's so scary. What else? I have been having issues where I can't feel temperature correctly, hot and cold. My body's not like responding to them correctly. I've been trying to keep myself as hydrated as possible with fluids and try to stay out of bed as much as I can, because the upright position, you know, takes pressure off your heart and that sort of thing. I'm just in bed right now, but I also feel like I'm going to pass out even when I take a couple steps, so it's kind of I don't really leave my house or do anything like that. Yeah, so just counting down the weeks, and I wish you all the best, and I hope this is helpful. I would suggest finding a support group online, because otherwise it's really hard to get through this on your own, because you know, your family members and everyone, your friends and everything, it's just very isolating because no one understands and no one's heard of this for the most part. So yeah, so best of luck, and I'm sure I'll post another video soon. Okay, bye-bye.